Hello, ECCT. Here with you again for an end of the week devotion. Today we'll be skipping ahead a little bit in our journey through Philippians, and we will be looking at chapter 3, verses 1 to 7. So this is Philippians chapter 3, verses 1 to 7. Finally, my brothers, rejoice in the Lord. To write the same things to you is no trouble to me and is safe for you. Look out for the dogs. Look out for the evildoers. Look out for those who mutilate the flesh. For we are the circumcision, who worship by the Spirit of God and glory in Christ Jesus, and put no confidence in the flesh, though I myself have reason for confidence in the flesh also. If anyone else thinks he has reason for confidence in the flesh, I have more. Circumcised on the 8th day, of the people of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of Hebrews, as to the law, a Pharisee, as to zeal, a persecutor of the church, as to righteousness under the law, blameless. But whatever gain I had, I counted as loss for the sake of Christ. So this is Paul kind of emphasizing how much of himself he has placed in faith in the gospel of Jesus Christ. Because for him, what he says here basically is righteousness is now found in an entirely new way through Christ, right? Before, it was kind of performing and being righteous under the law, right? Obeying God's words and commands through the Old Testament, reading and interpreting the prophets, and living life according to the laws of God, right? And Paul says, if anyone thinks that he has confidence in the flesh more than me, well, it's going to be hard to have more confidence in the flesh than Paul, because on paper, Paul is the perfect Jew, right? A Hebrew of Hebrews, he calls himself. As to the law, a Pharisee, so he considered himself an expert in the law. As to zeal, a persecutor of the church. So he was so passionate and so invested in keeping and maintaining God's law that before he knew Christ, he persecuted the church, because from his point of view, he saw the church as blaspheming towards God, right? To consider that someone would claim to be the Son of God, that was blasphemy, right, for Jews. And so when Paul says confidence in the flesh, he really means like confidence in himself, right? In his self-capability and self-righteousness, right? His ability for himself to claim righteousness for his own sake, right? And so he says, more than anyone, right? I had on paper all the rights to kind of claim this for myself, but whatever gain I had, I counted as loss for the sake of Christ. And so Paul, I think what he's learned here through his encounter with Jesus is that all the things he previously kind of considered important, and all the things he considered to be kind of essential markers of his identity, were merely kind of signals of status and privilege and power that he considered under his own control. And when he encountered Christ, and when he kind of saw the light, let's say, literally and figuratively, he realized that all power and all glory is for Christ and goes to Christ, the Son of God. And so all the things that he now, or he once had, he now considers worthless, because in comparison, Christ is far worthier.